Please subscribe to my channel. The girl who was abused by her own father, Part 1. Night after night, Amina would curl herself tightly into the corner of her thin mattress, pressing her palms over her ears to block out the heavy footsteps that echoed through the narrow hallway. She was only 15, yet her heart carried the weight of decades. Her father, Boko, was a man people in the village respected. He prayed loudly in the mosque, gave charity during festivals, and often spoke of discipline and morals. To outsiders, he was a devoted father. But behind the mud walls of their home, he was her tormentor. The abuse had begun silently, like a shadow creeping in unnoticed. At first, it was harsh words, unpredictable anger, and punishments that left her body bruised. Then, one night, the line was crossed. That night marked the end of her innocence, the night when the father she thought was meant to protect her became the monster she feared most. Every glance he threw her way during the day felt like a silent warning. She lived in constant fear, unable to tell her mother, who herself was too broken by years of submission to challenge him. Amina wanted to scream, to run, but the shame tied her tongue. Who would believe me, she often whispered to herself, staring at the cracks on the ceiling. At school, she wore long sleeves, even under the scorching sun, hiding the marks of his cruelty. Her teachers noticed the sadness in her eyes, but she always forced a smile. Her friends joked and played, but Amina stood apart, her laughter stolen, her spirit dimmed. Inside, regret consumed her, regret for being born into a home where love had turned into horror, regret for not having the courage to speak, regret for every night she survived only to wake up in fear of another. What haunted her most was the silence. The house was always quiet after it happened, as if the walls themselves kept the secret. Sometimes she wondered if her mother knew but chose to pretend, blinded by her fear of losing her marriage. Sometimes she wondered if God had abandoned her altogether. One evening, as dusk settled, Boko returned home drunk, his footsteps heavier than usual. Amina's chest tightened, her throat went dry. She knew what was coming. But this time, her heart was different. Something inside her heart snapped, a small flame of resistance flickering beneath her fear. She couldn't endure another night of silence. As he pushed the door open, she grabbed the rusted nail she had hidden beneath her mattress. Her hands trembled, her body shook, but her eyes burned with both terror and desperation. She didn't know if she was ready to fight, to scream, or to die trying, but she knew she could no longer remain his prisoner. The door closed. The silence returned. And the war inside her heart began. Please follow for part 2.